What up guys, and in this video you probably seen my review already, but I'm going to talk about whether or not you should pick up a ring light or some sort of light for your home YouTube studio setup, and which ones do I personally recommend. Stay tuned for this video and I'll tell you. If you haven't seen my other videos on my specifically ring lights or softbox, link on the individual products themselves are in the description. I'm going to tell you exactly how I unbox them and how I set them up. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to tell you about essentially the 2 to 3 different types of budget lighting that you should consider, the pros and cons of each, and can you yourself afford it in the budget range. I'm going to talk all about that. So let's head over to my other side of the room and I'm going to talk about the specific types. So as you can see here, I only have one light bulb lamp in the back as a back or fill light, and I say the first piece of equipment that you should invest in is some sort of lighting, because that will, if you're using a budget camera like I'm using right now, Nikon D5200, it'll make your videos look a lot better without having to spend all the money in upgrading a camera. So the first type of light we have here is a softbox light. All right. Affordable goes for, I'd say, I think under $100. And essentially what a softbox light is, if you haven't seen the video, link is in the description. It is a big bulb in here and it has a diffuser on top, which essentially takes away the harsh lights. And it spreads it out, hence the word diffuser. So overall, what I like about this guy, the softbox, is that compared to your traditional second light, what I'm talking about is the ring light, is that softboxes don't have that harsh lighting, especially if you wear glasses like me. So how you set up a softbox is you want it pointing down towards you. Here, I'm going to show you like this. Like that. And then next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it taller. You want it to be pointing up and then down, if y'all can see that. And I'm going to have it placed right over here. And this is how my video looks lit up with the softbox. And as you can see, no lighting at all. Look how bad that is. With just one, I'm using one softbox light propped up to the corner, pointed down at me, and it gives you that almost that Rembrandt type of lighting, which I'll talk about later. And look at the difference that makes with just one simple softbox. It's not always about the most fanciest lighting setup, or you have to get a ring light. Is that, as you can tell by just using one softbox light and putting in the proper placement, just putting it simply right there, how much big of a difference that makes. So what I like about Jesus. So what I like about this Neewer softbox light is that it is relatively easy to set up. If you watch my setup video on it, it has one bulb, really simple. The only thing I don't like about it is if you're looking for more of a compact setup, this guy is pretty big, hence the name softbox, and it does take up quite a bit of space, but I recommend this guy for more of the budget shooters. And if you're looking for a budget and you want to sacrifice a bit of space and on the run, then this is your guy to go to. And it's definitely a good starting point if you want to play around with lighting, because yes, you can have it pointed down at me, but you can also do things like have it as a fill light and point it up at the ceiling and have it bounce back on you. So that is the first type of lighting that I would recommend for complete beginners, is getting some sort of softbox light. And you can also double it up and have one on the other side to have more of that sandwich lighting. But for me, I kind of like this kind of one key light here and you have shadows here. You'll see it in a lot of movies or interview sets, and it just adds more dimension to whoever it is that you're talking to. And I guess another con of this guy is that, yes, the bulb itself actually gets warm as well. And yes, since it's budget lighting, it's not the best quality material. It's essentially entry-level budget, it's essentially what you're expecting. But the good thing of this is that since it has a softbox and it has a diffuser cover on it, you won't get that harsh ring light circle halo effect, because if you're blind like me and wear glasses, you can see it like that, but when I'm talking to the camera, there's essentially none of that halo light. So that is the Neewer Softbox. They come in two, but personally I just use one of them. And that is my first recommendation. But now let's go to the other side, and I'm gonna talk to y'all about ring lights. So next up is what we have here is your standard ring light. The one that I currently use right now is the Mountdog ring light. Link is in the description if you want to support this channel and check out the product. But chances are you've also seen my other review on it, the other ring light competitor, which is the Neewer ring light, which I say yes is a recommended product. But once I started figuring out the Mountdog, there are a couple things that I like and don't like about using ring lights. So first things first is super simple setup. There's a mount here that you can put your phone or your tripod, but I personally just shoot through it. I have a tripod's here, camera's here. I'm shooting through the ring light. One button, switch on. You don't have to worry about, do I need to position the ring light XYZ? Super simple. And now I am using the ring light as my main source of lighting. But as you can see, one of the biggest cons of using a ring light is hence the name ring light. And like I said, if you're blind like me, you will get those harsh halos, especially if you have these types of glasses. So my first piece of advice is to not wear glasses or have contact lenses or have some kind of external monitor so that you can actually get rid of that harsh light. But as you can see in my eyes, you will also have that halo effect in your eyes. So if you're not a fan of that kind of halo effect in your eyes, then I would definitely avoid getting the ring light, but there is a workaround. So the workaround to get rid of that harsh halo lighting is, fun fact, is the exact same way that I actually set up my softbox. So what you want to do, let's say I'm here, right? Point it up and I tilt it down a bit. Make sure it's tight. Bring it back. And as you can see, I made the ring light effect on the eyes a little less harsh on my eyes. And if you take off my glasses, you can't really tell that I'm actually using a ring light. I'm using it as pretty much a key light just set off to the side, classic interview setup lighting style with just one light. And that pretty much got rid of the harsh ring light. And you can also use that as essentially a key light without having the harsh right on your face key light. So initial thoughts of the ring light, I'm using the Mountdog one. Doesn't really matter the brand because essentially it's all the same type of lighting. And initial thoughts is that I like it and I prefer it because it's compact. You're paying around $30 to $50 more to invest in something that's more compact, takes up less space, and is really light and easy to set up, right? Those are my kind of pain points that I kind of look towards when it comes to gear. Super simple to set up, and I actually like the Mountdog light itself because instead of having different knobs and switches to turn off, let's say, the lighting or the white balance, it's all within the turn of a dial. I'll explain. See, with the Mountdog light, what you're doing is you're turning a dial to make it cool or warm, right? Whereas if you were to use if you were to use the set this back up. If you were to use the Neewer light, what you would pretty much get off the bat is that you would see that there are these kind of like cheap plastic covers that are already a bit chipped already that I haven't used, and you kind of pull them off the ring light here, and you would stick this on to make it warmer or cooler. And that is with only the Neewer light. But as you can see with the Mountdog, you can't take this off, and you just turn the two knobs on the back. Whoops. You just turn the two knobs on the back to change the temp of the light as well as the brightness. And that's what I like about the Mountdog light versus your typical standard Neewer ring light. I'm not against them. Like, that was my first ring light. But after getting this guy, I can definitely see what I like and what I don't like about using that type of ring light. And that was my little overview of whether or not you should actually consider getting a ring light or any light. Simple short answer is yes, of course you should consider getting a ring light or some sort of light, because as you can tell, before and after, right? This is me using a no light. I need to bump my ISO all the way up, right? And is it passable for your first YouTube video? Yeah, probably your first 10, 100, but then eventually, you would want something to look a little better and just made your video quality jump up without having to spend hundreds of dollars on upgrading your camera, your lens, just by simply just adding more light, right? It's that simple. So if you want to check out the products and my more in-depth review and unboxing of them, link is in the description for all the videos and products and reviews I talked about, as well as the actual product themselves. If you want to support the channel, I do make a commission off those links, so check those links out. My name is Peter, and if you haven't, I also have a free camera guide that I will help you pretty much take out the tiers of what type of budget and equipment that you should consider, and that is definitely a good starting point. So my name is Peter. Smash that thumbs up button if this video has given you value or helped you in any sort of way, and feel free to leave a comment. I read all of them. I reply to all of them. And my name is Peter. You're watching Broke Visionary Collective, where we all start with nothing, but you can always create something.